Mediterranean tarts. You'll be making shortcrust pastry for the base. So you need plain flour and 2 types of fat. So you could use lard or trex, which is a vegetable fat, and butter or margarine. It just has to be really cold and out of the fridge. So put your 2 fats in with the plain flour. It's easier if it's in smaller chunks as well, because now you're going to rub the fat into the flour. Doing this actually creates a waterproof coating so that gluten actually doesn't form. We don't want gluten to form in shortcrust pastry. We want short strands of gluten, hence the name shortcrust, because we want a nice crumbly texture. So in your dry ingredients, you put cold water. Make sure the water is very cold. Just put in 1 tablespoon at a time. Try not to put in too much liquid. Again, this will form the gluten and you'll end up with a really soggy mess. So once your mixture starts to stick to your knife and starts to go in bigger clumps, that's your indication that it's actually finished. So don't put any more water in at this point. Get your hand in there and bring it together into a ball. If you have time, put your shortcrust pastry in the fridge to rest for about 10 minutes. And that just allows the gluten to rest, really. Roll your dough out on a floured surface, and every time you roll, turn your pastry dough. It keeps the shape as well, and it makes sense that you don't have a really thick side and a really thin side. We want it nice and even. So just every time you roll, turn it around and roll evenly. Nice light pressure. Don't be heavy-handed. Roll it out to the thickness of probably a 50p coin, so it's quite thin pastry. We don't really want a thick pastry case. Once you've got it rolled out, cut your little tartlets out. Don't twist the pastry cutter, just a nice clean cut, and then use your palette knife just to pick your pastry cases up off the surface. And that's your pastry cases done. So for your filling, you can put in whatever you like, as long as you have an egg and some milk, and the egg is going to coagulate, so it's going to set. So I've just put in some milk, egg, herbs, salt and pepper. You can put in spices if you want it spicy. It depends on what you're putting on top. I'm just doing cheese and tomato for my little Mediterranean tart. You could do olives, sun-dried tomato, feta cheese, goat's cheese, caramelized onion and goat's cheese. You could do anything really. It's like little mini quiches. Bake for about 15 to 20 minutes until the egg is coagulated and it's nice and golden. Enjoy!